Hey guys, how's it going? It is my different username here, and today we have another weapon to show off from the game Rainbow Six Siege, and today we'll be covering the sidearms that are used by the BOPE operators in game, and as well as one of the gadgets used by Caveira. Here we have the LEGO PRB-92 made out of LEGO. I'll talk more about Caveira's Luison in the video later on, but I did want to cover all the information about this pistol specifically in the meantime. So, the PRB-92, and no, not the M9, or a Beretta 92, or even a knockoff brand in any case whatsoever, but is instead actually a certified clone of the original Beretta model that goes by the name of the Taurus PT-92. And long story short, in 1972, the company Beretta set up a factory in Brazil for the contract deal to sell the 92 model to the Brazilian army. The factory ended up being sold to another gun-making company known as Taurus around 1980. From then, they used the tools available there to legally create their own version of the Beretta pistol, since the original license had expired by then, by the year of 1983, and now this serves as the standard pistol of use within the Brazilian military by a different name. Not by the PRB-92 in-game, however, but instead is known by their military as the M975. See, that was kinda short, right? Anyway, this pistol does have a lot of resemblance to the original Beretta 92, however, there are some key differences that can be found all around the pistol. On my model, you can see that this does not have a magazine release button, but the actual model has a heel magazine release, which is just a cover on the bottom of the grip that holds the magazine into place. You can even see this being used as a heel-styled release system in the reload animation in-game. I actually didn't make this on my model, unfortunately, but then again, I didn't find the need to because friction alone actually keeps the mag within the gun. And also, this gun just holds a very typical styled magazine design with the bullet that sits on top and the groove slope that sits on the bottom. Nothing truly fancy. Another thing about this is the fact that the safety lever was moved from the slide down to the frame, and when flipped up puts the gun into safety, and when flipped down goes back into fire mode, but doesn't actually affect the trigger. Now, a strange thing to point out about this gun is the fact that it has an ambidextrous switch on the other side, and you can even see this in-game when reloading, but the original P92 model actually never had an ambidextrous safety switch, so it's a little confusing to have it here. But for the sake of continuity, I still added the feature just for the sake of replicating the gun in-game. Now, when it comes to the similarities, those happen to include the slide and the slide release, the trigger guard, and the trigger, which was actually enlarged slightly to accommodate for the overall shape of the weapon, but also has no effect on the hammer whatsoever. And the few parts I actually don't like about this model is the type of grooving that had to be done to the front of the slide in order to accommodate for the barrel, and to me, it just looks very ugly and very much out of place. Worst part is that you can even see how prevalent this is when aiming down the sights. And lastly, another aspect that really bothers me is the fact that the connecting lever on the side does not actually reciprocate when squeezing the trigger, just like that of the real weapon. Besides all that, nothing else is really all that different from this compared to the original Beretta 92, except for some obvious aesthetics. But now that we have covered the standard pistol, we can now talk about the suppressed variant that is used by Caveira, which is the Luison. So, the Luison gets its name from the mythical creature that has the resemblance of half a man and half a wolf, which essentially is a part of Paraguayan folklore, and I could totally see how this relates to Caveira, to the fact that she is really a terrifying presence in-game, but it doesn't really make too much sense to relate this to her because of the fact that she is actually Brazilian and not Paraguayan. Either way, her pistol is significant and stands out from other pistols where its basic design is not to kill, but instead to down enemy players to help interrogate them, and then from that point, locate the rest of the enemy players within the match. And her suppressor is based upon an Osprey styled suppressor with a basic beige wrap over the entire piece with some zip ties here and there to help hold it down. And to get the nice clean look for the wrap, some hinging pieces were used to attach the side plates, as well as some upside down building techniques to help complete the overall shape. And without the wrap, you can actually see what the regular suppressor would look like without it. And these suppressors normally tend to sit too high near the sights and block the view of aim. Fortunately, the suppressor in game was designed to sit just slightly lower to allow no blocking of the sights. However, on my prop that was used in the short, you can totally tell that this would definitely make aiming in real life slightly more difficult. Moving on, some people may have actually noticed that the barrel for the suppressed gun has been replaced, and there really is a huge reason for this. These suppressors are very heavy and would actually cause too much pressure on the regular cylindrical barrel, so changing out the whole thing for a squared but more structurally bound barrel actually made a lot more sense to hold these types of suppressors. If I wanted to make a suppressor that could actually work for the cylindrical barrel, I could easily just make this, which doesn't really weigh much at all, but then again doesn't have nearly the amount of presence that the other suppressors give off. So to make it simple to replace the different barrels, I've actually developed a little system to help change them out without completely taking the gun apart. So, to start off the barrel replacement, the slide would need to be pulled and then locked back into place. From here, the front post sight should be removed, as well as the part of the slide to help reveal the rubber band system within the gun. At this point, the barrel could just be lifted out of the way, and any type of other barrel can easily replace this segment and can be clamped down into place. The last steps needed is to attach the rubber band back to the barrel and simply reattaching the first two pieces back together, and then just like that, the gun is now suppressed with relatively low weight issues in the front. Personally, I gotta say, I like the non-suppressed version of this gun way more than the version that you see on screen. Not only is it just a lot more comfortable to use all the functions without the heavy suppressor in the front, but it just feels more maneuverable all around. But honestly, it doesn't even nearly look as cool as both of the suppressed versions for this gun, and overall, I just have to say, it feels so good to get back into making a traditional pistol again after such a long time, and I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this build as much as I have. Guys, I personally want to just apologize for delaying this video for such a long time. It was honestly in no ill attempt whatsoever, I assure you. But just like my last Rainbow Six Siege video I made, I tried to make a short to go along with this video to really enhance the whole thing altogether. But you guys have definitely shown me that waiting for a video like that to come out is just not the right answer, and it's not right for you guys. So I just decided to upload the video itself with no short, and who knows, maybe one day I'll actually have the short ready and make this into a re-upload, but for right now, I just want to give you guys the video that you all rightfully deserve. Anyways, subscribe if you guys want to see more Rainbow Six Siege weapons made later in the future, like, favorite, and comment if you guys have enjoyed, and, as always, thanks for watching.